Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Okay. Hello, testing. Welcome. I think I'm here. If you happen to be here, please leave a comment and let me know. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and start this live. I realized last time I totally forgot to introduce myself. I'm Paige Reckman. Hi, everyone. I am the person who started this group. I'm a therapist. I live in Brooklyn, New York. And that's my intro. I don't know what else to say. But it's so nice to be here. I don't see any comments yet, but I'm hoping that this is working. And I'll just wait a few more moments to see if anyone joins. I can't even tell. I don't know how to use this. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and get started. Hopefully this is working, and if not, I will be posting it and people can watch it later. They can watch the replay. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I say a lot to people in this group, in the chats, when you post about your pet and losing your pet, which is to remember to be gentle with yourself. And I know that is a phrase that we hear, and it can almost be like in one ear, out the other. Like, sure, I'm going to be gentle with myself, but what does that actually mean? So I thought today I would go over what being gentle with yourself looks like, some tips and tools that you can use to actually practice that and incorporate it into your daily life, especially after you've lost a pet. So if anyone's here, which I can't tell because no one's commenting, so maybe no one's here, which is fine. Hopefully you can watch the replay. Let me know what being gentle to yourself means to you. I can share that for me, especially after Squiggles died, I think something that I did to be gentle with myself was to just let myself feel whatever I was feeling whenever I was feeling it. So, there was a lot of emotions, obviously. I was very, very sad. And I just kind of let myself be in it. I let myself be sad. I let myself cry when I needed to, and just letting myself be how I was whenever I needed to was how I was able to be gentle with myself during that time. So what I want to go over today is actually what I think about when I hear be gentle with yourself, which is self-compassion, practicing self-compassion. And this is probably a term that you've heard about, but believe it or not, there is someone out there. Her name is Dr. Kristen Neff, and she, oh good, someone's here. Hi Jamie, hi. Okay, good, now I know it's working. Who knows if it's working. Thank you so much for letting me know that we are working, because I never know. So where was I? So Dr. Kristen Neff is this, I think she's a psychologist, but she has studied self-compassion, and she has a lot of wonderful resources about it on her website. I'm going to make sure that I post them. Hi Kungjin. I'm going to make sure that I post it here. But self-compassion when you're grieving a pet is really, really helpful. It's what's going to help you get through some of the darker moments where you just miss them so much, you're yearning for them, and you can feel a little more safe in that, a little more protected and comforted in that experience. So I want to go over 3 components of self-compassion that she talks about that I think are just really helpful to have, of course, when you're grieving, but also at any point in your life. The first one is mindfulness. So you've probably heard of the term mindfulness before. It's very similar to meditation, but not exactly the same. I know meditation today is a very popular kind of trending way to care for yourself, and it's great, it's valid. When you meditate, you exercise your mindfulness muscle, but you don't have to meditate in order to practice mindfulness. I think when people hear meditation, they think of this like very formal experience where I have to listen to someone, telling me to breathe, and it can help, but mindfulness is something that you can practice in any moment. And it's basically observing your experience without judging yourself. That's all it is. It's observing without judgment. And so whoever's here, we can take a moment right now. I'm going to do it too. And we can be mindful. Let me just put this down a little. You can be mindful. So take a moment Close your eyes if you'd like, and just notice any sensations happening internally. Notice any thoughts that might be going through your head, any feelings that might be coming up. For me, I'm noticing this fan blowing on my face. I'm noticing my legs are crossed. I'm noticing them touching each other. I'm a little nervous, a little jittery. I'm noticing that. I'm hearing the birds chirping. So it's just taking a moment of stillness to observe your experience. So when you practice mindfulness, when you're grieving, it's not as easy, right? Because we're experiencing a lot of discomfort when we're grieving, and so being mindful with that, it's harder. It's harder to do, but there's a way to experience and observe what you're going through without judging yourself. So maybe you're feeling sad and you miss your pet, and that's fine. You can be with that without judging yourself for it. I hear a lot on some of your posts that you are. It's very subtle. Some people do this, and I do it too. But this like slight, almost like judging yourself for how you're feeling, and that's a very normal human thing to do. But with mindfulness, you're able to just observe how you're feeling and getting rid of the judgment. It takes a lot of practice, and if anyone is more interested in learning how to be more mindful, let me know, because I would love to talk more about it. But that is the first component of self-compassion that you can start to practice. The second is being kind to yourself. It's very simple, sounds simple, easier said than done, practicing kindness. But it's when you're kind to yourself, you're being warm and supportive versus shameful or cold or judgmental towards yourself. So again, mindfulness comes in here because oftentimes when we're grieving a pet, we're not able to pay as close attention to what it is that we're saying to ourselves. So if you can be mindful and pay attention to the words that are actually happening in your head, you can then start to recognize, am I being kind and gentle towards myself right now, or am I being shameful, judgmental, a little cold or mean towards myself? I think a lot of people say things like, oh, I shouldn't be this sad about my pet anymore. And of course you don't want to be, but what would you say to a friend who was feeling that way? Right? That is what being kind to yourself is when you are practicing self-compassion. And then the third component of self-compassion is remembering that you are human, and we have a shared common humanity, which is inevitably, if you are human, there's going to be pain and suffering. It sucks. It's unavoidable. And, I think when your pet dies, it's really common to feel like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. This shouldn't have happened. I don't want to feel this way. I'm the only person that has ever felt this way ever in the world. Which, as I'm sure many of you have noticed from our group, that's simply not true. You're not the only person who has gone through this before. There are a lot of us who have lost a pet and are going through similar emotions. It's just unavoidable. It's part of being human. Suffering it happens, and when it does, it's important to remember that you're not alone in it, and you're not the only person who's ever felt that way. So these are the three components of being gentle with yourself, of practicing self-compassion. It's mindfulness, so being aware of your experience without judging yourself. It's being kind to yourself, so talking to yourself the way that you would talk to a good friend. And then the third component is remembering that you are human, and this is part of life. It's not fair, but you're not alone in it. You're not the only one who's ever gone through it before. So I thought I would end by sharing some mantras that may be helpful for you to remember to practice self-compassion and to be gentle with yourself when you're in your darker moments of suffering and missing your pet. The first one is, and you can come up with your own as well, but just remembering, I accept myself in this moment. This moment of suffering, I accept who I am, I accept myself, I'm caring for myself in this moment. Another one is, I am trying my best to be gentle with myself, because sometimes it's hard to do, and it's okay. If you say, I'm trying my best to be gentle, that is good enough. That's fine. That's another mantra. And then another one that I like to come to is, I am full of light and love. I'm full of light and love. That is just something that I'm going to remember in this moment of darkness, that I am full of light and love. So if you watch this, let me know if you came up with a mantra for yourself to be a little more gentle. And if there's any other ideas or things you guys want, talks, let me know, because I want to be able to provide tools and tips and conversations that are going to be useful to you. So let me know if there's anything going on with you, and I'll make that our next talk. And I'm sending you all big hugs, and I hope that you have a gentle weekend, a gentle day and a gentle weekend. All right, take care. Bye.